What's up with y'all? This is coming at you once again to drop a few things on you, man. And this is basically in reference, basically, to the Kyrie and Ye thing, man. And what is metaphorically speaking about is how these brothers are basically being lynched on a modern day platform. You know, they don't have their necks in a rope, but they have their financial status and they have their character in a rope, basically. And I was thinking about how this has been going on through history. Any time a brother with any type of following or any type of platform that can reach millions of people, there is a public lynching of them, basically to teach them to keep their mouth shut. And I got to thinking about a situation, man. I was in Pelican Bay prison back in 2008. I had just done about 7 years and I was coming up for parole in about a month or two. So let me speak fast about this. I was in prison and I was originally convicted for an assault, a robbery, a burglary, a false imprisonment, and a couple of other charges. Well, later on down the line, the case was overturned by the appellate courts and I took a deal for burglary, which is a nonviolent offense. Now let's fast forward back to the prison life. In prison, they have a psychiatric program called triple CMS. And triple CMS is basically anybody that they deem to be psychiatrically unstable. They're placed in these programs and they're put on medication, this, that, and another. And they have different stages because they have another one called EOP, which is extremely mental problems. Triple CMS is manageable type problems. So I was in the triple CMS program. The reason I was in the triple CMS program was because I was a violent offender. When I mean a violent offender, I have violent tendencies. And basically, that's the way they felt. But all it basically was I didn't take no shit from nobody. And because I was surrounded in violence, I dealt with things violently. It is what it is. So for me, in order to stop me from getting time added on through the district attorney, I went to this program because it would be highly unlikely for the prosecutors to attempt to prosecute me if I have some type of mental history. See what I'm saying? So yeah, I manipulate the system, whatever. So now that when I do things, I don't have to worry about, you know what I'm saying, another prosecution. Yeah, they'll handle it on the state level, in-house, but I was cool with those consequences when it comes to getting more of a time at. So anyway, let's fast forward now. Like I said, I'm in Pelican Bay at this time. I'm a triple CMS program. And as outspoken as I am now, I've been like that in my entire life. No matter what situation I'm in, I'm outspoken. And I'm going to speak up for people who don't have the mouth or wherewithal to speak up for themselves. And so I was in Pelican Bay prison, and I was somewhat of a rebel rouser, whatever you want to call it. And I was coming up for parole. And I got a summons to come down to the program offices. And when I got down to the program office, they had a doctor who had came to see me from Atascadero State Prison. That is the mental prison in the state of California. And this doctor told me that what they were planning on doing was committing me to this mental prison once my parole date came up. And they're saying that the qualification for this was because I was a violent offender and I was part of the triple CMS program. But that wasn't what it was about because I knew how to program. I knew how to follow the rules. What it was about was they couldn't shut me up no matter what they did. They threw me in the hole for years. That didn't break me. No matter what situation I was in, I carried myself the same way, no matter what the consequences was. I wasn't afraid of the consequences of my action if I felt my actions were justified. So I'm talking to this doctor and I tell myself, well, you know what? You're mistaken about the qualification, me being qualified for that program because my original commitment offense was overturned. So I'm no longer considered a violent offender. I just had a serious offense, which was the offense of burglary. I say all this to say this. I wasn't a millionaire. They couldn't counsel me or shut my mouth up by taking my money and trying to assassinate my character. But what they were attempting to do was commit me to a psychological hospital to where they can inject me with drugs and therefore take my know-all, take my mouth, take my voice from me, silence me. And when you get committed to these places, you don't have an actual parole date. Now the doctors have to say that, okay, he's free to go. We think that he'll be a productive citizen, things of that sort. And so I say all that to say is, man, they've been silencing us for the longest, whether it's on that particular level or in the public eye. They've always tried to take our voices. And if I hadn't had that commitment offense, you wouldn't be talking to me right now, because I would be somewhere like a goddamn zombie filled up with drugs. Yes, they have been doing this for many, many decades to prisoners. When they can't break you, then they're going to shoot you up with all these drugs, commit you to these facilities, and break your will. I was lucky enough to skirt around that. And the crazy part about it is this, in essence. They told me I wouldn't be a productive citizen. They told me I was crazy. This is what they try to put in the paperwork. They try to justify me going to a psychological hospital. But here it is. I've been on the streets now for 12 years. I own 2 businesses. I do insurmountable amounts of charitable work. I'm always out in the public eye. Well, I don't want to say the public eye, but I'm always out in the public. I'm always trying to help people. But I'm the guy that they said that was crazy. I'm the guy that they was trying to take the voice from. I'm the guy that they was trying to inject all these drugs in to silence me. And this is what they've been doing to us for the longest. And I just want to lay that on you, man. These people is going to always try to silence somebody that's telling the truth. They're always going to try to make us look like we are crazy. And you better be aware of it. Anytime somebody's telling the truth and they talking about they're crazy, you better understand where the real target is and what they're attempting to do or what they're attempting to stop from happening. Man, I'm going to keep pushing this line like I do. Keep dropping these words on you. But don't be fooled by what the media is trying to do to these brothers. Research what they own. Research what they own if you actually care. It's the Hist. I'm up out of here.